This is Gator. Last time I told you about the day I met Kevin K-Dog McKinnon in Bayonne, New Jersey. The day he refused to pick up hot metal rods and walked out with his head high. I knew right then I found my kind of brother. Today I'm going to tell you about the first time Kevin tested that bond and how I almost failed that test. This story about 1,000-mile drive to New Orleans that never happened and what it taught me, what brotherhood really costs. We got a call. Me and Kevin, after the New Jersey job, me and Kevin, we stayed in touch because we traded numbers at Raspberry House. And me and Kevin, that was when that New Jersey job was probably in '01. And me and Kevin we stayed in touch, but we didn't work around each other much. Then the job come in about New Orleans after Katrina, the devastation. New Orleans was ugly, ugly. So we both lived in New Jersey. I lived in Toms River, New Jersey, South New Jersey, and Kevin lived up in I want to say Teaneck, New Jersey, and North New Jersey, and we were supposed to drive down together, and we were supposed to split the ride, the cost, and all that to go down there and to the storm. But at the time, life intervened. And my brother Kevin, he worked for Delta. He worked down for Delta down there in Atlanta. So that means I got to fly for free. So instead of meeting up and driving down, I chose to fly down to go see my mama down in Daytona first. So, when I was up in Jersey, I ain't seen my mama in a while. So I figured that was a good time to go down there. So when I got down there, I called Kevin and I told him, hey, I flew down to see my mama. And he was like, I thought we were supposed to meet up and drive. Then all of a sudden it was just like real silent. Man, I could feel it. You know what I mean? It was like disappointing in his voice. He was like, you flew? Man, I thought we were supposed to ride down together. And, that was the real test. He was testing the bond. He was demanding commitment that brotherhood required. He didn't care about the money. He cared about the shared hardship. The road together is what built a bond. I thought I was smart by flying to go down there and see my mama. But, Kevin knew at that time because Kevin was older than me. Kevin more like a mentor or a big brother to me at this time. And he know brotherhood ain't built in comfort. It's built in the trouble. It's trading the wheel, watching the road unwind together. And the disappointment in his voice, that was the lesson. But anyway, after a week or two in Florida, I told him I'm getting ready to go into Baton Rouge because I couldn't get into New Orleans because it was damaged. And he was like, man, I'll pick you up. I'll be there, and I'll pick you up. So I took his word. And just like he said he was there. He told me he was going to be there, and he was there. And, we throwed our bags in the truck. And so now that's when our partnership really, really took off. You know what I mean? And so now at the time we got a call when we get a call out of New Orleans, Kevin will get a call at Murphy's Oil in the St. Bernard Parish. I get a job at Murphy's Oil at St. Bernard Parish. Kevin will get a job at the Domino's Sugar job. And up there, they had a man camp with about 3,000 workers. They fed you, they did your laundry, they did a lot for you. But it was cramped, so me and Kevin ended up getting an apartment up in the Garden District of St. Charles Street. And every morning stepping out, man, New Orleans is a place I don't forget because in the area where we stayed, it was like the storm never even happened. Like it was just a normal day. But right across the street, right at St. Charles, right on the other side of the street, everything was devastated. It was mold, rot, all the cars underwater. And the thing really got me was the refrigerators, white refrigerators everywhere I seen. And the X's on the buildings on the houses that tell you, you know, that if somebody died or not. But one thing about like living with Kevin, getting back to the story though, is his famous word, okay. Now, just a simple word, okay. But like if you laid out a plan, you think it's shaky or he thought it was, you know, suspect, it's just like, okay, he wouldn't argue, he wouldn't brawl with you. He'd just look at you, shrug, and deploy his little option. You know what I mean? A calm, flat, simple word. Okay. It wasn't surrender. It wasn't no. It was like a warning shot. You know what I mean? He was using that. Okay, man, go ahead and find out the hard way, brother. But I learned the hard way. Most of the time, he was right, and I can't count how many times okay echoed in my head later. But the lesson here. So here, what you need to know, man. Brotherhood requires shared hardship. Kevin didn't care about splitting gas money. He cared about splitting the miles. Because brotherhood isn't built in good time. It's built in the truck. Trading the wheel, watching the road unwind together. When I flew to New Orleans instead of driving, I thought I was being smart. Kevin, I thought we would roll together. Taught me. Smart is riding with your brother when he asks, not because it's convenient, not because it saves you money, but because the road is where the bond get forged. I never made that mistake again. And every time Kevin looked at me and said, okay, after that, I knew to listen because he already showed me. He knew what brotherhood cost. And he was willing to teach me even when I got it wrong the first time.